rookie camps are underway, so it's feeling like the season just around the corner, and it's the right time, Hayes, to put Marty on the spot. Marty, we want you to list it. We want you to give us your 7 Canadian team goalie tandems. List them from worst to best. Give it a go.
Okay, well, in 7th place, it's the Calgary Flames. Dustin Wolf has a lot of promises, but he's young, and it's a rebuilding moment in Calgary with Dan Vladar. Number 6, I'm going to have the Montreal Canadiens. Samuel Montembeault could very well be a quality number 1 goaltender, and Caden Primo is a solid backup. But when you look at all 7 Canadian teams, I think we have to put the Montreal Canadiens 6. 5, I've got the Toronto Maple Leafs. Joseph Woll, there's a lot of promise there as well. And I love the addition of Anthony Stolarz. He was great in Florida, winning the Stanley Cup as a backup. I hope that tandem can come together, but I still have him 5. Top 4 is hard to put together. 4th is the Edmonton Oilers. Stuart Skinner, Calvin Pickard, they were great in the second half of the season, but which Stuart Skinner are we going to see? First half or second half? And then tandem has big shoes to fill going all the way to the finals last year. Number 3, the Ottawa Senators. Linus Ullmark, Vezina Trophy winner, but he's got to come in now and play 60-plus games in Ottawa. Anton Forsberg has had some good moments before the knee injuries. Now let's see, but as a tandem, Ullmark, he's got a lot of weight in there, and they're number 3. Number 2, I have the Vancouver Canucks, and I love the Canucks tandem. I had them number 1 most of the summer. The injuries are really scaring me with the Canucks, but Tachenko, Arthur Shilovs, they're a great tandem. I still have him as number 2. And number 1, obviously, Connor Hellebuck, one of the best in the National Hockey League. Capo Kakinen is back up now. Eric Comrie is a 3rd guy. I think they're really well set in Winnipeg with the Jets.
All right, so naturally, I'm going to have some contention here. I have to push back on a couple of things, Marty. I have to. No, I'm okay with that. I'm okay where the Leafs are at. I'm okay where the end of the list is at. I'm fine with that. I can't accept Ottawa at 3. I know what Ullmark did in Boston. I know he won a Vezina on the greatest regular season team of all time. I can't picture that carrying over in Ottawa, Marty. I just can't see it with the way that team defends, the way that team plays. I would have Edmonton ahead of Ottawa. Stuart Skinner, I know what you said, Jekyll and Hyde last year at times, but he looked great down the stretch, looked great in the playoffs. I would have Edmonton ahead of Ottawa. And I'm not going to argue with you in terms of Hellebuck. You know it as well as everyone else or anyone else. I mean, Hellebuck is a superstar. He's a Vezina winner. But, Marty, I think it's important to point out this is a regular season list because Hellebuck has to prove he can do it in the playoffs. The last 2 years in the playoffs, Marty, he has been terrible. His statistics have fallen off a cliff. And I look at what Bobrovsky did a couple of years ago. I look at what Carey Price did in Montreal during that COVID bubble. He's capable of dragging that team to the promised land, Marty. I think he needs to do it to really solidify his legacy.
Okay, so this is our regular season list. Who's going to take their team to the postseason? Can the Senators take them there with their goalie tandem? You might not.
I don't think so. I'm not there. Again, I like the acquisition of Ullmark. He's a good goalie. He's technically been a tandem goalie for the majority of his career, certainly in Boston. And Swayman passed him. That's why he moved on. Partially his deal will be up in a year, but Swayman passed him. Now he's in Ottawa. They have run through goalies year after year after year. I think Ullmark's probably the best one, Marty, that they've acquired over the years. But they felt good about last year's tandem and the year before, that. And it just never works out. That team doesn't defend well enough. Travis Green's got a lot of work to do. And I think Ullmark is in for a rude awakening in Ottawa.
But when I look at Linus Ullmark, I'm thinking not just the way that he played with the Boston Bruins, but how good he was with the Buffalo Sabres before moving on to Boston. And the Buffalo Sabres back in those days, well, it's still up for debate if they can defend, and that will be interesting this year. But Linus Ullmark was great in Buffalo. That's why he went to Boston and performed that well, because he's able to kind of play behind a bad defense or a team that gives up a lot of scoring chances. I know Boston wasn't that team, but Ullmark has proven that in Buffalo. I think he'll enjoy the challenge of saying, hey, put it on my shoulders. I want to help the team. You can give me scoring chances. I'll make the saves. So for that reason, that's why I've got him top 3.
Well, guys, FanDuel likes Ullmark as well because he is one of 3 Canadian team goaltenders in the top 8 to win the Vezina Trophy. Also included in that is Connor Hellebuck and Thatcher Demko. Guys, thanks for this.